The real wins in life are won within yourself. That's why the word win is within the word within.
You want to have a greater impact on people versus always what the income is going to be.
Yeah.
Because when you a blessing, you are going to be blessed.
Uncomfortability breeds growth. It
Yeah.
should breed growth.
Yeah, it should.
When you're uncomfortable and you're in uncomfortable situations, you should be growing through it.
'Cause knowledge is power.
Hey, family, it's your girl, Sista Natasha, host of the Sista Natasha podcast, owner of Victory Center for Youth. I am the CEO of Natasha Wise Bail Bonds. Also, I am the grandmother of 6. You know I got to put that in there because, baby, that right there is
Right.
the key to everything. I am serial entrepreneur and mocha entrebeliever. Today, I have with me a guest that you guys would be surprised to know some of the things about this brother. I'm going to read his bio out of respect, not just because he's a graduate from Shaw High School class of 1986. I'm just saying that. I'm not even going to let that be the reason why he has graced this platform today. But he is none other than not a brother, but a friend, a musician, an artist, a writer, a producer, an author, an amazing father, and now a fiance.
Okay, whatever that is.
A fiance,
Oh,
but
a
it's a
fiancé.
fiance.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
2025 is fiance. He is none other. Can you guys help me welcome to the Sister Natasha podcast all our viewers, our listeners, and our followers, Joe Little the Third. Let's do it! Ah! Welcome, bro.
What's up?
Finally, dang.
Finally.
All
Finally
of
made
this,
it.
they had to shut everything down to get you up in this boy.
That's it.
I am truly blessed. 216 came through here on Sunday with the snowstorm
Yep.
in the blizzard, and I heard y'all turn the city upside down. Congratulations, Ray
Thank you.
Jr. and all of the artists that performed at the Masonic Temple on Sunday. They said Uncle Joe came through there.
Pulled up.
Grammy
Popped out on
Award winner, early 90s and R&B superstar, Joe Little the Third. Your resume follows you. It makes you bigger to people that don't really know you. They know you as just being Joe, but when I tell you, you make our city proud. So your resume is worthy of the red carpet experience that follows you.
Thank you.
You have followed and sang with some of the greatest superstars from even this city, Dro Levert. You got to deal with Atlanta Records. The brothers from Rude Boys, who's are still affiliates with you, Larry, Marcus,
Passed away.
Melvin.
Larry and Buddy passed away, but Melvin is still a surviving original member, but he's not active. You
Okay.
know, he's been ill for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
The R&B supergroup, which would the Rude Boys have always been the sound. We don't get that sound anymore.
Yeah.
That harmonic, strong voices. But you have carried that torch for so long. You busted out the gates with the 1990 debut, Rude Awakening. Just ran the charts up. You were number 10 on the Billboard's R&B charts. Then you were 68 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's big, Joe.
Yeah.
The Rude Boys and Joe Little are household names. Our favorite song is Written All Over Your Face, where we know every word to the song.
Every
You
word.
light the stage up, you let the crowd in, and that's what entertainment really is. I don't know how to just let you know that I've watched you the entire time, and you have grown, you have gotten better and better and better. The biggest part of the soul of Joe that I love is your caregiving.
Thank you.
Tell tell the people how important it is, as the scripture says, to honor thy mother and father.
It's very important to family is it's very imperative that you home close to your family.
Mm-hmm.
And just being a caregiver, it has its challenges, but when you do it with love
Mm-hmm.
and grace and poise, is amazing. So yeah, I took care of my mom up until October 17th
Mm-hmm.
of was it 23, 24? No, 23.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been taking care of her for 4 years prior. So, we were hand in hand going down the road, as far as she was passing. And, she left me instructions.
Mm-hmm.
She prepped me up
Mm-hmm.
for it, but
You
there's
never
no
ready.
prepping up.
You
Nah,
never
there's no
ready.
prep up for
The
that.
busyness of life gets us sometimes to forget family.
Mhm.
You know, many people that have made it big, some big superstars have come from this city and have never looked back,
Right.
you know. But I believe that the blessing of the Lord follows us when we do right by our family, by our community. We were talking before we came on where he says, the least you have done unto my little ones, you have done it unto me. And humility is something that is missing, not just from artistry, but from the world.
Hmm.
Um, CNN, Fox News tell us all day on what's happening in our news. We just, in the last 2 weeks, there's been 7 plane crashes.
Right.
7 plane crashes when it have not been seven in years.
Right. Right.
So things are shifting.
Hmm.
Tell me some of the things that you think about when you're traveling on the road and how different what you're doing now is versus when you were doing this in the 90s.
Well, when I was doing it in the 90s, I was very young. I was like 22, 23 years old. So I was reckless,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. I mean, when you're young and you're not, you haven't arrived to who you really going to be, you're going to make decisions that are not the greatest decisions. But, I had fun
Mm-hmm.
doing it, but, maturity kicked in, you know, later on in life. And so now when I'm on the road, it's really just preparing to go on the road, making sure I get good rest, make
Mm-hmm.
sure I'm eating good, make sure that I'm staying in shape,
Mm-hmm.
decent shape, and just I do a lot of meditating, and I don't have an entourage anymore, so it's just me and the guys and the manager, and I go to my room,
Yeah.
relax, go to the sound check, meet and greet, do my
Mm-hmm.
shows, and
Come
go to
on
my
home.
room and just get
It's
ready for
about
my flight back home or
it's
to the next
about
city.
going out. It's like going to work. You go
Hmm.
to work, you make your money, you make your impact. Now, Dre has said something to me. He says it's now impact over income. You
Hmm.
want to have a greater impact on people versus always what the income is going to be.
Yeah,
Because when you a blessing, you are going to be blessed.
that's true.
And that's what you do. You have really put your hands into the hands of people that normally nobody would touch them unless there was a price attached to it. And that's big because he says, the scripture says, and please forgive me when I always say the scripture
It's
says, but it
okay.
comes out like, it
Hmm.
just comes out of me because I
Well,
I
you are a
study,
minister, so
I
that's what you
study,
do.
and I always make it remind me. I
Hmm.
don't push judgment or have judgment cones, but I had to learn how to live to give. Now I think bigger. I think I live below my means. I'm not a lavish. People look on the outside and be like, oh, she's got to have this or she got to have that. No, I don't. As long as I have a roof over my head, a car to get me back and forth, I love to eat. That's
Hmm.
well, you could tell I
I
love to
know
eat when
because
I
Sister Natasha fed me well. I'm trying to stay awake. No, I'm just playing. But she did. You know how to feed
listen.
somebody.
I love to cook. I love
Yes.
to eat. I love it's ministry altogether,
Hmm.
and having conversations with people, real people, genuine people,
Hmm.
is what I love. So when I wanted to bring you on because there's so much to Joe that everyone don't know. Um, you had a wife that passed away.
Hmm.
You were married to her forever.
For we were together over 20 something years and had known her since she was in the 10th grade. So yeah, she passed in November of 2016.
Hmm.
And at that point I became a single father. I had two children still in high school. And so I had to just step up to the plate and take care of my business. And I mean, a lot of you men out there, I mean, just speaking to you, you really don't know what it takes for a woman to be a single parent.
My Lord,
It is something else,
my
especially
Lord.
when a man is not around
Yes.
or whatever. So, as a man, being a single father, it was I ain't gonna lie, it was nights I cried. I didn't
You
really
ain't
know
know.
how to be the father,
Yeah.
and then my children were hurting,
Hmm.
and so it was a real challenge to me. But I mean, men, y'all have to understand that women are so important as a mate
Hmm.
with the man. I mean,
Hmm.
you're not going to get to the best level of who you are unless you have
A good
a good
woman.
woman behind you.
Yes.
It don't always have to be a wife or
Yes. But
but it could be your
someone.
woman, your lady,
Hmm.
or a friend, or just people that you have women there to help counsel and nurture you
Hmm.
to a certain place. And so a lot of men be like, I'm the boss, I'm the head of the household,
Yeah.
and they think they own the woman, and you
Yeah.
don't. You have to let your woman be all
Be
she can
hers.
be so that she can bring all the beauty and all the energy that you
Yes.
need as a man. And so when she was gone, it was just like, it was really devastating. It was hard to deal with,
Hmm.
but I had to grow.
Hmm.
I was very uncomfortable. But like I tell my clients and my students, uncomfortability breeds growth. It
Yes.
should breed growth.
Yeah. It should.
When you're uncomfortable and you're in uncomfortable situations, you
Hmm.
should be growing through it.
And one of the things that you mentioned earlier about some of the programs that you have contracted with other organizations
Hmm.
in the city, that's something else that people don't know about
Right.
you. When you're traveling and you come home, you don't just sit around waiting on the phone to ring.
Mm-mm.
You get to it. What are some of the things that you do to create programming and opportunities for those that are less fortunate or those that are going through? Tell us some of the things that you do with the programs that you
Well, it
have.
started with Fatherhood Initiative, working with
Okay, that's one of my
Fatherhood
favorites.
Initiative
Hmm.
through career placements and strategies,
Hmm.
with working with Maurice Stevens,
Okay,
who's my mentor with this.
that's
Started
awesome.
where career development and job placement. That's the
Hmm.
name of our company.
Hmm.
And I started off actually in the class because I was sentenced there. I moved to Atlanta and I received some mail from child support that I didn't get. And when I
Hmm.
came home, actually to visit, I was pulled over by the police and it was a warrant. So they gave me a choice to, they actually held me in the county for a few days. Surprised you ain't hear from me.
Ghana.
But yeah, and so when they let me out, I had to go down to child support, choose a program, and
Hmm.
I chose, I chose Rising Above, which is the name
Okay.
of the course. And when I went, I'm not gonna lie, I was arrogant. I had my phones in there, and I'm just
Mm.
like, man, I don't want to be here.
Hmm.
But it was something that touched me.
Mm.
Um, and Mr. Stevens came to me. He's like, look, man, I've been looking for somebody like you. He had no idea who I was. And he was like, man, would you like to help me with this? Would you like to
Mm.
teach this one day? And I
Mm.
was like, you know what? I am interested because it gave me a feeling of
Mm.
energy that I had never felt.
You
And then
never
I was
know.
like, this is one of my purposes.
Yes.
And I took the class. He told me I had to come back and do the class again and again, and then I could co-facilitate. And he would start me off at $25 an hour. And I was like, sure,
So
I'll
now
do
you
it.
was being paid when you was supposed to be paying your child support, and
Exactly.
God has shifted and worked that
It
whole
worked
thing
it
out
out. And at the
that you
time,
will be compensated for your
exactly.
uncomfortability.
Yes.
Ain't
And at
that
the time,
cold?
I had opened up my new coffee shop in
Wow.
our city, East
Mhm.
Cleveland, right
Mhm.
across from Shaw in the old Mirror um,
What is it? Joey
building.
Bean? Joey
Yep.
Beans?
Herb Joe
Urban Joe,
Coffee.
yes.
And so I was just like, I don't have a lot of time, and I have the Rude Boys on the road. But I made time for it, and eventually um, I finished the program, and he put me to work right away. And so ever since then, it has opened up so many doors. So contracting with Salvation Army,
Mm-hmm.
Harbor Lights for reentry for men
Mm-hmm.
and women. Even with Catholic Charities, I work with Catholic Charities. Been working with immigrants and refugees, with the MRS, RSSP departments, and now working with Catholic Charities with JCT, um, JTC, job training, job career
Training.
training.
Mm-hmm.
And so just been doing that and loving it. I have students that I teach every day. I teach them
Mm-hmm.
everything from my workforce development, job readiness, self sufficiency, financial literacy, how to go into interviews and present and exude their self well, and just like all that. Like it's
But
amazing. I
that's it.
love
That's
doing
a
it. I love
that's a
doing it.
deposit, and that's one of the symbolisms that you can write written all over your face, because there's so many different things that we write on our faces that people only choose one particular thing.
Ah,
That's cold.
it's cold.
So now when you say it's written all over your face, it's everything associated with your purpose.
Yes.
And I'm proud to know that it's not just that part of you. You know,
Hmm.
there's more to you. You found love again,
Hmm.
after experiencing that hurt of losing a
Hmm.
wife, and then preparing yourself. You wasn't just into looking, you let it find
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, Natasha, I went through a period of
Hmm.
self preservation.
Come on.
Moving to Atlanta, I like stayed to myself for a year,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just wanted to find out who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Who I really was, and who I'm supposed to be, and who I'm to grow and to be. And I like stayed away a year, just
That's so
going to the gym, working out, and just being in meditation and prayer, and just stripping myself of everything. I literally just stripped myself of everything that I learned and built myself back up. And it brought me to the person that I am today. And so, with that being said, it was many lonely nights crying in
yeah.
my pillow,
Yes, Joe. Yes.
and just, a lot of hurt and pain. And then when my wife
But
passed, it was a lot
look at
too.
it. Look what it has.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? You for real.
Hmm.
You can now facilitate man cave because
Yes.
you prepared to.
Yes. And I thank you. Shout out to Man Cave,
To
to
Nora,
Nora. I
always got
mean,
your hands in
yeah. And then
something.
kept to Kev Blaze, who would like mention
Yes.
my name to her,
This is what I'm
you
talking
know.
about. People, let me tell you something. And God dealt with me this morning. And he says, stop looking for followers and stop looking for big numbers. He said it takes one person
Hmm.
to propel you to where I want you to go
Yeah.
and what I want you to be. Not that I am into the number of things,
Hmm.
but people always say, I got 5 million followers or I got this, but you don't know 100 of them.
But you want to touch lives. And so I
You
can
want.
understand you wanting big numbers because you want to touch lives. And see, that's what I'm about through my
That's
music,
it.
through my writings, my
Yes.
books, through my
Let's
teaching.
talk about your book.
Yeah,
You
through my
got,
teaching is just I want to touch lives. That's all that
and it's
matters.
every person that you meet, that you come in contact with,
Hmm.
you give a deposit. It may be a deposit of a song, a deposit of a children's book for a
Hmm.
child. Now, when you say refugees, that's huge
Hmm.
because that's the first place that this administration have targeted before taking office,
Hmm.
is people that have came to this country because they didn't have nowhere else to go.
Right, displaced.
And now, and I get it, understand there is a process, and I'm down with the process because no matter what country you go to, there's going to be there's going to you have to follow the rules and the guidelines to
Hmm.
become citizens, or even just get a visa, but let's not just dog walk people.
Right.
You
It's
know
a
what I'm
way to
saying?
approach and do things.
It's a way to do everything. Don't snatch every little bit of hope away from them
Yeah.
that they have come to gain, where they have started to exhale a little
Yep.
bit,
And I work
starting to
with these
build.
people,
So
and I know what they've been through. Like I work
listen,
with the Congolese people,
yes,
Sudanese,
yes,
Afghanistanians,
yes,
Ukrainian,
yes,
Haitians,
yes,
different people who come to America for a better life.
yes.
Some of these people have been living in refugee camps and tents for
Listen,
years, like 6, 7 years,
sleeping on the
with
ground.
kids and children, and
Yes.
still having babies in that state. So it's
So
like
we
it's
we
sad.
come together. You have a podcast. Let's talk about, is it a conversation?
A1
A1
conversations.
conversation. Talk about some of the. Let's talk about how you even came to the place of wanting people to hear Joe.
Well, just seeing a lot of people was doing podcasts, and I seen it as an avenue for me to further reach more lives and touch lives through
Mm-hmm.
just whether I was just giving my opinion on the current events,
Mm-hmm.
talking about sports, talking about music,
Mm-hmm.
or generally just talking about life.
Yeah,
And that's
life.
my favorite topic
Mm-hmm.
as far as just speaking life.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my main thing is helping people believe in themselves,
Mm-hmm.
helping people understand that you are here in this life to understand what your purposes are. You're here in life also to know what your assignments are, to
Mm-hmm.
find out who you are and be that and be willing and open to grow.
And you're doing
It's
all
very
that by
important. And so
traveling. You're
traveling,
traveling,
I
coming
speak it
home.
on the
You
stage when I'm
come
talking to
on.
my
That's it.
audience,
That's it.
to in the classroom when I'm teaching
That's
my
it.
students and clients.
That's it.
And I mean, it's all about believing in you, in the
Mm-hmm.
word. So
Woo!
in the scriptures,
Come on,
it
preacher.
says God dwells God dwells in the temple not made with hands,
Mm-hmm.
which means God is within you.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the Bible, Christ said, "Lo, will they say it's here, there, here. The kingdom of
Mm-hmm.
heaven resides in you."
Mm-hmm.
And then he even says, "Haven't I not told you that ye are gods that would die like
Yes,
men?" So we have the
we
power.
have it.
The higher power has
Come
given
on,
us
Joe.
power
Come
to
on.
over ourselves
Self
to
control.
find ourselves and to act accordingly.
Yes.
You know,
We have to have
yeah.
levels of self control.
Bottom
One
line,
thing about maturity is that we don't do things the way we used to do them. We
hmm
don't handle people like we used to handle them.
right?
Um, there's 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 a way that seemeth not. You
hmm
know, we got to learn how to, every platform that God gives us, we have to draw people to Him, because He says, if I be lifted up, I'll draw. All we
All
got to
men
do is
unto
lift
thee.
them up. Yeah, all we got to do is lead them to Him. We don't have to change them. We move the judgment cones, and draw down the barriers of condemnation. But myself personally couldn't do any of that until I was healed myself.
Mhm.
You know, I carried a lot of pain and dressed it up
Yeah,
every single day,
everybody
Joe.
do it.
Every single
Everybody do it.
day I was going to work hurting, and it wasn't until I received therapy.
Natasha, how does it feel to really be free?
Listen,
How really that
I'll
because now
never
you're
I'll
free.
never compromise my peace again.
Mm-mm.
My peace cost me too much. It cost me too much. It cost me too much. It cost me
But what happened? You found you, the real you though, because all it was, Natasha,
in the
was just
rubble.
it cost you a lot. But that's the past. You are here. You have
Yes.
arrived as who you are now. That's
Hmm.
the purpose
Yeah.
of Sister Natasha podcast
Yeah.
show. This is a new venture that you're
Yes.
doing, and you spreading your wings, and
You
you're
will
doing it.
find you in the rubble. I
That's right.
promise you.
Yes.
You in there. I did
Yeah.
I did a podcast with Uncle Ted again, and I said, Uncle Ted, he said, baby, that's it right there. I said, a champion in the rubble.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, like always, like I share as advocacy for breast cancer warriors, is that during chemo and radiation, I was able to go deep down within me and say, I shall live and not die,
Mhm.
to declare the works of the Lord. So it was not a death sentence. I never allowed it to strike me that way. It
Right.
struck me in a way that I got to overcome this so that I can help somebody else overcome.
Mhm.
But let's talk about your books, because you and
I
I
want to
both
say
are
something real
talkers.
quick since we here though.
Okay.
I say all the time, the real wins in life are won within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the word win is within the word within. The
Mm-hmm.
real championships of life are won within yourself. Lauren Hill said it best. How you gonna be right out here when
Out here.
you're not right within?
Yes.
And so the key is to find out who you are,
Mm-hmm.
understand your assignments, know what
Yeah.
your purpose is in life, and then just be willing and open to grow. You
Yeah.
have to be. You're not a tree. You don't have to stand still. You have to have some form of growth each and every day. Strive, for balance.
What makes Joe happy? What makes Joe happy?
What makes me happy
Don't talk
right
about that cologne.
No, no, you silly. What makes me happy is me being able to express myself freely, artistically, and for me to touch people's lives. I get a kick out of
Wow.
touching people's lives. I love adding value
Wow.
wherever I go, and I love inspiring people, and I love to see people do well, and I'm a congratulator, I'm an appreciator of people that thrive and that transcend to the next level of self, because that's very important for you to transcend to the levels of, to be able to operate at a high clip
Yeah.
of self, and it's very important. And the creator gives this to us, mixes it so well,
Yeah.
where we have to go through the challenges, like that challenge you went through, and you
Baby.
pulled when you said you
Baby.
had to go down
Woo.
and dig within
Baby.
yourself,
Every
and you
day.
came out. So that's a true testament
Yes.
of that. You had to win. You couldn't claim no loss with
Couldn't.
cancer.
I couldn't.
You had to claim it as a victory and like, listen, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna keep a positive mindset, because a lot of people don't understand when you get sick, you have to be
Listen,
if
you
you
better hold
cancel
on to
yourself out,
something.
and you better be thinking
You better be
positive.
talking to
gotta
yourself
stay
every
lifted.
day. And I don't care if it's not cancer, if it's a broken relationship, if it's grief, if it's the loss of a child. I don't care what it is that you have to overcome. You have to overstand what it is that you're going
Right.
through. And that means that it's only for a moment. This too shall pass. It's not here to stay. It has an expiration date.
Right.
So we have to forget about what we do every day as what people recognize us to do, what we're called upon to do, but it's what we are called to do. And we're called one to another, because we don't have a business if it doesn't consist of people.
That's right.
Our business is nothing.
And above all else, you have to love yourself first.
You got
I'm
to.
talking about here on earth.
Yes.
You have to put yourself first.
First.
A lot of people say, I put my kids. No. If you don't take care of your mental state, you can't take care of nobody.
My Lord.
You have to have the mental fortitude, the intestinal fortitude to be able to
Yes.
deal with life as it comes. And so you have to put yourself first. You have to have self-love, self-preservation.
Yes.
You have to break yourself down and get in there
Yeah.
and work it out.
In your
Spiritual,
writings-
internal spiritual surgery is what it's called.
In your writings, Joe, tell us where do you get it from?
My
'Cause your new
song right
book. Let's talk about the new book.
Okay, with the new
Written All
Jill,
Up.
we'll talk about the book that's coming out. Written All Over Your Face is a book about, it's my memoir autobiography.
Okay.
My editor who's working with me with it, who has been working with me, is Gwen Maul
Okay.
from G Maul
Hey, Gwen.
Media, who's amazing. She's
Okay.
amazing. She's really challenged me because I did all the writing on my own.
Okay.
She went over it and was just like, hey, Joe, dig in here a little deeper. She's loving the writing because I am a writer.
Okay.
Definitely. But she says, look, dig a little deeper right here. Bring your audience to here. Make it like a
That's
movie.
good, and that's
so
what
the
you
book
need.
is like a movie.
Wow.
12 chapters, hard hitting,
Wow.
on point.
Wow.
Not no messy tell-all book,
Okay.
but just telling some key things that people
Okay.
wouldn't know. Like I talk about Gerald Levert a lot. I'll
Okay.
give people an inside look of some things that they don't know about Gerald.
Okay.
Nothing bad, but all
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Just an inside look of me and my
Motivator.
childhood as
Mm-hmm.
far as coming up and being an abused child, sexually abused,
Mm-hmm.
talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about being a father and a parent and fathering a lot of children.
And now,
Right, because
guess
I have
what?
13
Th-
children. So, I mean,
I was gonna wait until I wanted to write
let me
down
get
the
that out
number
of
right here. Like,
here.
let's talk about these 1, 3. But
Yeah.
listen, having children is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
It's a
And that has
blessing.
been a blessing. There's challenges
Yes.
with it, but when you have so many, like the old man in the shoe,
My
but
daddy.
it's a right, yeah. My boy, and by the way, her father is one of my great
My
friends,
daddy.
Uncle Ray.
Yes, he got
And
some
so, and your
kids,
son,
child.
her son also. And so, the book, writing the book was very challenging to me, and it helped me purge.
Okay.
I
Get it out.
laughed, I cried. I mean, I went through such an emotional roller coaster with this book. And I like, for real, I'm telling people out there,
My Lord.
write a book about yourself. Even if you don't
I'm
feel that you
I'm
are that important, but
trying.
sit down
Trying to
and
finish.
take accounts of your life and just write.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just write. Start
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning of what you know and go down and just hit some key things. But I've been afforded so much. The creator has provided so much for me. So,
Listen.
I mean, every other day I'm like, oh shoot, I need to put this in the book.
Yeah.
Because you'll forget.
Yeah.
I've been writing this book since like 98.
Put the children's book out
Right.
there.
Now
You
the
can.
children's book Joey Wants to Sing
Yeah.
was
Who
the idea
inspired you?
Felicia McDonald.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she inspired me.
Okay.
She's a UX designer. She also does websites, whatever,
Okay.
and she did the artwork, which was amazing. I
Okay.
mean, like brung little Joey to life, the students in school, and all that. But she inspired me. Well, she was inspired by my mom,
Okay.
and it talks about my life as a child. All I ever wanted to do was sing.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a child, I really didn't go outside. Right up this street over here, Woodworth,
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. In 143rd in East Cleveland, I really didn't go outside
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really just
Now you sang in the Shaw Choir,
I did,
correct?
but as a kid, I started off at like 4 or 5 years old, and
Okay.
so I stayed in the house a lot. Didn't play outside, and the kids used to be like, "Joe can't come outside." I used to be like, "I don't want to come outside." A singer singing, I'm in here
I
practicing in the
know
mirror,
that's
and
right.
I'm at the record player listening to the greats.
I know
And I
that's
told him
right.
when I grow up, I'm gonna be a famous singer, and that I'm gonna win awards and have big songs, and all that came
And you was a
true.
part of a big church in
Temple
our
Baptist
city.
Church.
Temple
Temple Baptist
Baptist
Church.
Church, who is
Reverend
now
A.E. Campbell Jr. I wrote about
yes,
him in the book, a nice, handsome amount in the book about Reverend A.E. Campbell and
yes.
Sister Patsy Campbell, who's his wife.
It was a
Pastor Campbell
huge
passed
church.
on, but the first lady, Miss Campbell, is still,
Okay, still
around. And I
on.
talked to her. Yes, yes,
Oh, that's good. Because
yes.
now Pastor Cedricville is the
Cedricville is the
pastor
pastor there
of Temple
now.
now.
At Temple,
Yeah, and
right?
they still great ministry. Still
Yes,
great ministry.
absolutely. He's a great pastor.
So tell us, Joe, you're traveling, you're doing your thing, you come home. This new place of love where you are,
Mhm.
does it balance you?
Yeah, when you find love, it does balance you out. So yeah, it's a balancing thing, and it's a work in progress. I'll leave it there.
So he
I'm
said
gonna leave it.
progress.
It's a work in progress, and it's work. All relationships are work,
Yeah,
no matter if it's with your children, if it's
right.
with your parents, and even your friend. All of them should be nurtured in a certain manner. And I said something. I proposed something on Facebook a few weeks ago. I was like, how many people have? I guarantee you that you don't have more than 3 friends.
Mm,
Friends,
mm,
because when I talk about
hmm.
friends, I'm talking about people that you talk to every day,
Yeah.
relationships that you nurture,
Mm-hmm.
a person that you can go and you can talk to them about anything and you feel like you won't be judged.
Right.
It's hard to juggle
It
a bunch
is.
of friends.
It is.
So I know
Mm,
I can count on one hand and not even use all my fingers of people that
mm.
I love dearly, who I trust,
I
who I
love.
could go to and I could chop it up with
Mm-hmm.
and be like, feel comfortable. My best friend of all, Mark Aaron Jenkins, passed right after my mom. And
Mm,
so me and him had been friends since 5 and 6 years
I
old.
know.
And he was my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people when I say they be like, what? A
Yeah.
soulmate
They
is
don't
not
matter.
always the opposite
Yes.
sex.
Right.
He was my
Right.
true soulmate. And
Mm-hmm.
so I struggle with his passing even more than I struggle with my
I
mom's. And I
understand.
told somebody that, and they was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah," because I got
Yeah.
him on my
I
screensaver.
understand.
This dude, I never thought
Mm.
in life that Mark would be gone this early in the
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a real shock as far as my wife, who
Yeah.
passed away, Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought, that. And so
Yeah.
then losing a mom, and then you lose two of your group members
Yeah.
from your
Come on.
group.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a road
Yeah.
since 2016 for me.
And one of the things, they'll never go away. It'll that their absence brings a presence that when you accomplish something, you know for sure they're celebrating with you,
Mm-hmm.
because all friends don't celebrate you.
No.
They don't celebrate you, they don't celebrate with you. So when the time of celebration occurs, it'll help you identify who your friends really are.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I am so grateful that you shared Joe Little the third today. We have lists of accomplishments and Grammy Award wins, but today the surface of Joe is the
Hmm.
win for us in
Yes.
this city. Did any good thing come out of the city of East Cleveland?
You better know
We
it.
can say Joe Little the
Thank you
third.
kindly. And we
Period.
can also say you and
Hey,
your son. I mean,
listen.
and I just want to commend you today. Also, I want to give you your flowers on the
Thank you.
work that you've been putting in the community, like even with the Bills Bondsman, being there for people when they need you. I know you have to get up at all times of nights and you sacrifice, you ministering through your ministry, and just, you fighting through your cancer and you surviving. You have been a pillar for this city overall, period,
Thank
in
you.
Cuyahoga County and abroad. And your story is truly an inspiration. And I just
Thank you.
want to crown you and give you
I
flowers
appreciate that.
and tell you how much I love you. And for me
Thank
to
you.
be as close as I am with your family,
Yes.
with your father, your son,
Yeah.
your brother,
Yeah.
is the first person that I ever sang with.
Alex really
Listen, he's one of the first people. Me and him sung Rudolph the Red-Nosed
listen. When
Reindeer at
I
Kirk
tell
Junior High.
you, he started. I really didn't see, because my grandmother made us sing in church, right?
Mhm.
But it wasn't until Diamonds and Pearls was on Euclid,
Mhm.
and they used to be like, Alex is singing
Yeah,
karaoke.
you didn't know
I
he could
didn't
sing.
know. I knew he could sing, but
He
I
could
didn't know he
sing.
was
Out there trying to
outside
sing,
singing.
man.
And then I said, I'm gonna go in here one day,
Yeah,
and I want
Alex
to hear him.
Weingarten. Alex is, and so let me take you through this. So,
Red
in written
Man
all
was
over your face, I have a whole chapter about you and your family.
wow,
You were within a chapter because I talk
wow.
about my first time singing in front of the kids in school, and it was with Alex, and I didn't want to sing with him.
What?
I wanted to sing by myself. They asked the Christmas songs like, "What you want to sing?" I wanted to sing "Chestnuts Roasting on Open
By
Fire,"
yourself.
or I wanted to sing Donny Hathaway, "Hang All the
Come
Mistletoe"
on.
this Christmas. But then the teacher, Miss Winfrey, put me
I
with
remember.
Alex, and Alex was bad as hell.
Listen.
I was like, I don't want to be singing with the bad boy.
Listen.
But we became great friends. We sung together, and it was amazing. And me and Alex have been friends ever since 7th grade.
God
Like,
has
that's
been
crazy.
good to
And your
us.
father, Uncle Ray, Big Ray, has been like a uncle to me. That's my guy, man. I love him so much. And your son also, my guy. We got a song together that we redid. I Ain't Mad at You. We went in the studio and did a song, and he always includes me in everything
Encourages
that he
you. He
does.
does.
And he loves me. The boy
He
call
does.
me all the time
He
and keep me on
does.
the phone. We be on the phone.
He does.
Like we don't even talk like every other day. But I'm like, look, he just called me before I left.
does.
I said, man, I'm on my way to your mother. She's like, she said you didn't probably wasn't gonna do it. I'm like, man, I don't know how she said that.
He loves Joe.
Yes, he does.
Little
He does.
honey.
And I love him too,
And
man.
I am appreciative. And I want to thank you guys for supporting him. I want to thank you for purchasing your tickets at these concerts,
Mm-hmm.
at these experiences. We have the Levert experience, Joe. We
Oh,
didn't talk
yeah.
about that. Let's talk
Real
about that
quick.
before we go off. Real
Yeah,
quick.
the Levert Experience. Dave Tolliver of Men at Large, Mark Gordon, co-founding member of Levert, who's still here, and myself, Joe the Rude Boys. We have a group called the Levert Experience, and like we're touring cross country like
That's awesome.
crazy,
That's awesome.
along with my group, the Rude Boys. We have been also, we don't tour together, but still got my group, the Rude Boys, Kenny Miles and G. LeBeau. They're out of Atlanta, and we do our thing still. I still do my solo thing, and just write my books, doing my music, enjoying life,
Yes.
basking in the
Living.
essence of love and life and
That's it.
self-discovery,
That's
and
good.
and just a word that I want to leave with you, and I said it earlier, but I'm going to emphasize and expound on it again,
Come on.
is that the real wins of life are won within yourself. The real championships of life are won within yourself. Win is within the word within.
Yes.
You are here to serve a purpose that no one else is to do. Each and every one of us come into this life to do something that no one else is to do. We have our own fingerprints. We have our own DNA. How special is that?
How
that the
special
Creator
is that?
can really never have to duplicate another person in any kind of way. So that means everyone is special. We are all the same, but uniquely different. Okay? So what I will tell you is that you're here to find out what your assignments are. You're here to find out what your purposes are. You're here to be willing and open to grow so that you can get to a high clip of self and operate at a higher self and be where the Creator meant for you to be. And a lot of people don't find it, but it's on you to find it, So
Can't
that's what I wanted
nobody
to say.
beat you better at being you
Look, I be
than
telling
you.
people I'm perfect. I'm perfectly at
Ain't
being Joe
nobody
Little the
else got
third.
these fingerprints
right.
but Sister Natasha. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in, allowing us to share these moments with you, share life with you. My number one story, my I preach it, I teach it, I live by it. We don't get tired, we get finished.
That's
I
right.
want to thank you for
Hold
tuning
on,
in.
I had to tell them about
excuse
my
me.
coffee. So I do have my own coffee brand, Urbane Joe Coffee. You can go find it at Urbane, URBEAN, Joe.coffee. My children's book, Joey Wants to Sing, JoeyWantsToSing.com. My website, Joey Beans with a Z, JoeyBeanz.com. And that's where you can find out everything.
And
Instagram,
if you want to book him, if you want to be,
See her.
Hey, don't give me that job, baby. I had you at all the nursing homes. I had you all the way. Baby, we gonna get some money out here.
That's right,
But
baby.
Joe, thank you. I love you so
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much.
for tuning in, for being a part of the Sister Natasha podcast. We
Yes.
love you, and we'll see you next week. God bless.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank you.
Joe, you amazing. I love it.
you
I
so
love it. I
much.
love it. I love it. I love it.
This was amazing.
Thank you so much.